Beyond bent. Janssen! And Blackburn Rovers are 18 minutes away from a Premiership return.
As far as Stewart, just outside the penalty area, flips it central for David Dunn. David Dunn equalises. It just had to be. Dax corner and it goes. Glance towards goal, and Rovers have taken the lead. And Charlie Mulgrew has scored his 14th of the season.
Hi, I'm Morten Gans Pedersen, and you're watching Rovers Chat.
Hello, we're live. It's Thursday night, and as you can tell, a brand new series on the channel, an interactive show. Basically, we'll go through every week a certain question, get your comments in as well, and you can pick along, and we'll kind of incorporate them in the show. But today's topic is obviously what is Rovers' best current exercise. So imagine everyone's up to scratch in terms of fitness. What's the best 11? An easy question to start us off. As you can see, I'm joined by Matt. How are we doing, Matt?
I'm not too bad. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, good. I'm glad to be live again. I think it's been a bit since we were live. Maybe mine and Dom's cup tie stream when we found out we got West Ham. Dom, West Ham. Last time we were on, how are we doing?
You say West Ham?
We're at West Ham.
Wasn't that the transfer window?
Yeah.
I forgot that happened, to be honest.
You played that. I'm good, thanks.
Busy with 15 days.
I'm glad you blocked it out like I have as well. That was a busy week. Yeah, I'm doing great, thank you.
And as you can see, Scott, who made his debut on the deadline day stream. How are we doing, Scott?
I'm good. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, good, thanks. Glad to be back on. And we were discussing before the show about your new little bit of wall art that Matt didn't know the picture. But we won't go into that. We'll get straight into it. I can see the start coming from him. So before we pick the XI, we've got to pick the formations. We've gone for two options, basically, that you can pick between. So get your comments in. We'll have a look at the comments and see who picks what. But what formation do we want? So we've gone 4-2-3-1 or 5-2-3. Now, Matt, I'll start with you. Obviously, 4-2-3-1 Rovers have used every game but one this season, I think. What do you make of it? Do you think it suits the squad we have?
I think all you have to do is look at the game against Watford, and I think all the fans are going to be rooting for the five at the back now, really. I think against Watford, it's one of them ones where you go into that game, really. I'm guessing most fans went there. I know I would have been watching the game going, this isn't a game we're going to take any points from, at least at the most one. And that five at the back just seemed to absolutely outclass them. So if you're any fan right now, you're probably rooting for five at the back.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Scott, Rovers, we've enjoyed a 4-2-3-1 before. Mowbray really enjoyed it in League One. Could you see us going back to 4-2-3-1, assuming everyone were fit, or do you think you'll keep with the three centre backs? Because obviously we're quite well stocked there, as we'll look into.
I think if as anyone's listened to JDT and what he says, he's gonna use that as an opportunity to go game by game. He might play five at the back one game, and he might play a four against another opposition. I think that's he likes his switching, doesn't he? He doesn't like to be keeping something. He doesn't like to be too predictable. He wants to switch it up and keep people on their toes, and I think it's going to be good.
And Dom, your thoughts on the formations? We'll discuss the back five. Obviously, we saw Tuesday night. It really outdrove us, didn't it? We looked a much better side with three absolutely quality centre backs in the squad, and there's still more talent. So, is a back five the way you want to go with this?
Yeah, if you look at the first couple of games in pre-season when we had a full strength squad, like in Accrington, especially when we had two teams, we played a 3-4-3. When we had likes of Sam Boyne, and we had Ashley Phillips, and we had everybody at the back, and we've been forced into this back four. I think the back four is really used for when we have a low block, and I don't think that's the way we play at the minute. I think we play with a high press, which allows the 3-4-3. And look at Watford game; it really did work well for us because we had all the centre backs back, didn't we? Like what we're going to talk about in the next hour or so.
Yeah, so I've just seen a comment here. Are we assuming full health? We are essentially. So, if we pick one, we pick a formation, every player's at the best. Maybe not, say Bradley Dack's not going to be back what he used to be. It's what they'd be at the full ability now. So that's the thing to remember. So obviously, if we pick like Sam Barnes as an up for option, but if we pick Sam Barnes, it's obviously when he's fit. So I think we'll go for 3-4-3. It seems to be the common thing. Obviously, 3-4-3, 5-3-2, 5-2-3. Sorry, as people know it. As you can see, we're going to stick with that formation. We'll go through them all, and we'll just see where we're at with it. So the place we're going to start, which I think is the most obvious bit, and the one that I don't even know if we need to debate it, is goalkeepers. For anyone even one in the options, obviously Thomas Kaminski and Ainsley Purge is your two options. We'll start.
Where's Jordan Easton?
Jordan Easton, is he not out on loan, or is he in the 23s?
Isn't he back? Weren't he only away for like a month long?
Well, you're not picking him anyway. You're only saying that because you've got him in your fantasy team, so you can.
To be fair, though, Hilton was on the bench last game.
He was, yeah, but I'm going to assume people do not want Hilton in. So, Scott, we'll start with you. Who would you want in goal between the two? I think it's.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Avoid me and Dom because we come up with some stupid answers. Okay, whatever.
I don't think it's like you say. I don't think it really needs discussing, does it? It's got to be TK.
Yeah, obviously, Dom. Thomas Kaminski. A few shaky moments this season, but relatively a good season so far. Where do you rank him? We'll go a little bit off topic with some of these. Where would you rank him in terms of the keepers you've seen for Rovers?
He's better than Walton. He's better than Raya.
Ooh.
Probably better in terms of shot stop and being calm, but not on the ball. He's better than Steele. He's better than... Who am I going back to now?
Robinson,
Jason
it's
Brown.
Probably, Robinson and Friedel are your two.
Why do we go? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in terms of the last 10 years, he probably is the best keeper we've had.
Yeah, and I think he deserves his place in this squad, really. But that's it. Thomas Kaminski in. So we'll just take a look. Obviously, it'll get a bit harder as we go through, but Kaminski in goal. Up next, we'll start with the right wing backs. Obviously, we've got three options here, haven't we? Three options for wing back, we'll say, because I thought with Tuesday night's performance, a certain someone deserves a shout at least to get in the squad. So we've got, when it actually loads up, we've got Hayden Carter. We have Callum Britton.
Hey, Carter's changed a bit.
Oh, Jesus. It's live. We're live and I've gone. We've got Callum Britton, JRC, and the real Hayden Carter. I hope.
Hey,
there we are.
Gone.
So, a bit of a harder choice here because obviously we mentioned Tuesday night. Matt, how much did Hayden Carter impress you on Tuesday?
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was a bad performance. Yeah, I think he was brilliant. We all know he was brilliant. But I think what made it even better was no one was expecting that performance from Hayden Carter at right wing back. I think he went in there with no expectations, and everyone was like, "Oh, what's Hayden Carter going to be like?" And he took his chance with both hands. He grasped it with both hands, and you know what? Yeah, what a performance.
Dom, who was your pick for the right wing back? Because there's two I think that have an actual chance, and then there's one who we've told won't even playing in minutes, but I thought I'll include him.
Yeah. I think it's got to be Britton, hasn't it? I think Carter's good as a replacement for a right wing back, and it's good to have the depth. But I think the fact that we've got who we're going to have at left wing back and the sort of the balance that we had with Carter and Pickering at left wing back, Pickering going bombing on forward and backwards, whereas Carter's more of a defensive. It works well as sort of an elbow system. It helped the sort of flow of the team, and I think it really worked well for him. But I think that overall, Britton would be my choice at right wing back.
Get in the comments as well who you'd have at right wing back. Scott, who are we going for? We've got, it looks like we know who we're going for, but who would you have at right wing back?
I struggled with this one, because like you say, Hayden Carter had a phenomenal game. And I think what's nailed it is Callum Britton's ability going forward. That's what's cemented him in that right wing back.
Yeah, I think everyone, we all know about JRC, and I think we discussed it last time round about his future. But I think Callum Britton goes in for all of us. And, let us know in the comments, do you agree? Would you have Hayden Carter in? I've just seen a comment that I think it's a really good point, that Callum Britton, even Forest last year, I remember that game, he was really good. Portsmouth, he kind of played right back as well as centre back, and I think this is a good
quite
point.
A lot of right back for Portsmouth.
Yeah, I think this is one we consider as well, that if you go in a back four, then maybe you play Carter. Because we know that Britain has struggled at times in a back four, and I think that were Barnsley fans kind of gripe when he signed for us. That he's not really that.
Well, that's how they played as well.
Much.
They played with wing backs as well, so he's probably used to that for the last season.
So Callum Britton makes it in the squad. I think everyone's unanimous in that. All the comments agree with Britton as well.
We're clapping every time, is it?
We'll clap. Well, you can clap every time he comes on. So, so up next, we'll go to left wing back. We'll leave the tough one at centre back for just a little while. Obviously, two options here.
Can I make a point about JRC?
Go on.
Oh,
yeah, I think his versatility has been his biggest downfall and his biggest strength. Like, I don't think he is a right wing back personally. I think he's more suited to going forward.
Yeah,
more like Hedges' role. I think that's what he's more suited to, and he's just been stunted in this left back, right back, because when we've not bought any defenders for the last few seasons, and he was a striker and a winger in under 23, so. I feel sorry for him at the minute. He can't get out on loan and he can't play for us. It's like he's stuck at the minute.
In terms of JIC, I feel like he's never been the same since he got injured.
Yeah,
a bit like your best mate Dan Butworth. He's never been the same since he got injured either.
That's him started, didn't you, Scott?
You set up on purpose. You didn't even care about JRC in that conversation, did you?
He's my son. As in this son. Everything revolves around him. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Luckily, you won't even be an option in this one. So,
Hey, we'll wait. Give it an hour.
Well, on to left wing back. Two options, really. We both know him. The guy called Hayden Carter before, Harry Pickering.
Yeah, that's a good play.
And Teo Eden. Now, I know we'll start Pickering because we know the criticisms, and I think we spoke about it a lot on this channel, that it's kind of a split thing on Pickering, isn't it? Some games you see people say you were an 8 out of 10 and other people say we're 4 in the same game. And I think he'll always divide opinion at Rovers, however long he's here. But we'll start with you, Dom. Harry Pickering, what do you make of him? Do you think that left wing back position is in this, in this setup in a back five?
Yeah, I think that he's become almost scapegoat because there hasn't been one this season, and I think the criticism of him has been a little bit harsh because I don't think he's had much cover in terms of the left winger coming back, and he's been overloaded on that left hand side. So I think he is. I mean, when Eden's come on, he has played well, granted, and it is a coin flip, to be honest with you. But I think. Personally, I would choose Pickering at that left wing back because he's more suited in a wing back role.
Scott, are you agreed, or is it, is there a case for Teo Eden, who I think had one of the better pre-seasons of the actual team, to be honest?
Yeah, well, I mean, like you say, it's a close one because they've both got the pros and the cons, and I think the thing that's letting Harry Pickering down for me is his speed. But that, other than that, I think he's been pretty decent in most games. I mean, he's had his little fluff ups, but so's Teo.
Who's your pick then out of Eden and Harry?
Harry Pickering.
Harry, Matt, are you going to do it? Are you going to make it a clean sweep, or are you going to back Teo to get this left wing back spot?
To be honest, I'm going to be fully honest now. If I could, I'd go for neither of them. To be honest, I think that, like Scott said there, I'm not slatering. This ain't me being bad, but I think what Scott said there. I think if you took Teo's pace and put it onto Pickering, you've got your perfect left wing back, really, in a sense.
Yeah.
But I think I think with Pickering, that pace these days, that's the difference between being a footballer and not being a footballer. I think in them left wing back roles, it's so crucial having the pace, and I think he doesn't have it. So I think Pickering does take it because he's all round a lot better, a lot more suited to that left wing back role. But I think if Teo could just like say, "Here you go, Harry, have a bit of my pace," it would definitely be a clean sweep for Harry Pickering, in my opinion.
And I think the comments are agreeing, Pickering. I mentioned Ryan Giles. I agree, but he's not having the best of time with Middlesbrough at the moment, is he? He's, especially that one he slashed in top corner.
No, I think he is in terms of assists, but I don't think in terms of he's It's covering a lot of what he's doing, isn't it, this season? His assists.
That's it, and that's when we saw him come from Cardiff, it was the thing we looked at, weren't it? The assists, we didn't really look at his performances, and who knows how it would have been. Obviously mentioned a Pickering and Sereno. See, with Sereno, it seems to be Jake Batty's ahead of him, doesn't it? Dom's just mentioned Batty then, that it kind of feels like Sereno's fallen to almost fifth choice, really, because I've noticed he played a bit of centre-back in some games and Georgie Gent's been left back. So it's kind of, one injury's kind of took him all the way down the pecking order. For anyone who's just joined, get comments in, we'll keep putting them on.
One thing about Lenny Sereno, by the way, he played against me in a Sunday league match when we were younger. And under 13s it was, right? He put 6 past me. And for that, I'll never forgive Lenny Sereno. He doesn't have a place at Blackburn Rovers.
Well, there we have it. That's conclusive then. So, I think we've all gone for it. All the comments be going for Pickering. So we'll have that. Pickering goes in at left back set up. As you can see, now the centre-backs. 6 options to choose from, I believe. I'll list them all up and then, we'll go through them one by one. See what's what.
I feel like, Simon Cowell and the X Factor, in the boot camp, and they're all like looking at the little pictures.
The little pictures.
Yeah. Just little little B-roll of pointing at each other. Like.
Unfortunately, he hasn't got the X Factor.
Come on. He has.
We've got Danny Ayala, Scott Wharton, Dom Hyam, Hayden Carter,
Harry Pickering,
Ash Phillips, and Clinton Moller. Obviously, we've not seen much of Moller, but we've seen the other 5, really. Now, I think we all know the actual option. I said it was tough, but I think we'll know the back 3, at least for now, from what we've seen. But where's your Gibraltar Rock? Louis doesn't get in, unfortunately. You can... about 8th choice, but
he's in the
we might get that West Ham game.
No, he
Most
won't.
captains international player.
I think we might go for the West Ham game,
We can't. It's Burnley. Burnley's 3 days after. We can't risk Burnley away. I think that'll be a big topic around the time on it. To be fair, Moller can play, can't he? And a few others. We'll see. So we'll start with you, Dom. Yeah. Does your fellow Dom get in the squad? Dom Hyam, obviously that Scorpion kit the other night. I think they'll be played everywhere and everywhere and everywhere again. So does he get in? Does Dom Hyam get in your back 3?
He does get in my back 3. Maybe in a year's time we'll be talking about a couple of others, but I feel like we'll all have the same 3. But yes, he does. He's
looking down at his team sheet now. Can you see him? Who's I put down before when I look through Wikipedia? Look at him looking down.
You might be right with that. Do you want to see it? A bit of an exclusive.
No. Don't ruin the rest of the team.
Don't ruin it. If I could put Danny Butterworth there, I would. But Dom Hyam at centre back, yes.
And then Matt, who's your next pick for centre back? Obviously, I think we all know the back 3, don't we? That everyone wants, and the comments are kind of showing them. But who else alongside Dom Hyam?
I think I'm going to get rid of the less obvious one. I think Scott Wharton. I think Wharton's shown it this year so far. Like he's got it. I think not going to ruin the rest of the team, but I think the other Wharton as well. I think both Wharton brothers have shown they've got the X factor. So I think he's through to the next round.
Scott, is it the obvious one?
It is. It is the obvious one. I mean, after these games, you just can't leave Daniel Ayala out, can you? He's been absolutely immense, and seeing as we're taking fitness out of it as well,
I'm hoping.
It's a perfect question, isn't
It's
it,
mental.
for Danny
I
Ayala?
do want to point out though that when we played Watford, I literally turned around and I said, but about halfway through the second half, I literally turned around and said, I want to try and see a bit of Clinton Moller. I did mean more than a minute, but
More than a touch.
No, you took your word for it. It's weird that every time Ayala comes back to like he could be out for 2 months, and as soon as he comes back, he's just like straight back into it.
But I think that personally, he purposely gets injured around Christmas time to go see his family in Spain. I'm telling you now, he does it on purpose.
But it's funny you say that because I know someone who knows the Wharton brothers personally, and apparently Scotty's previously said he doesn't like the cold.
He's come to the wrong club then, hasn't he? Yeah, he's gonna have 5 months of it coming up. But
when we talk about people we played against as well, when I was for Hyman District, I played against Scott Wharton and we won 2-1. Outmarked him, so it's fine. There we go.
Claim to fame there, Dan. We'll get the up wall behind you. We'll mention.
That's fine.
Obviously, Ayala's contract's a big thing, and that'll be something to discuss later in the year. As I assume he'll sign one. I think we'll time down to another year with a year option. I imagine that's what we'll do, just to kind of cover ourselves. Because you give him another 2 years, then he's probably going to be at the stage where he's not, probably not going to be playing a lot. And well, I say a lot like he plays 40 now, but I think the back three pretty much sorted. All the comments are saying the same, so we'll take a look at it. Obviously, team's building up a little bit now. 25 minutes in, we've got 5 more to pick. Let's get through them. Centre midfield now. Again, it's probably one I know what people are going to pick, but it's the front three were what I wanted to really discuss at the moment. And so we'll get through the centre mids before we get on to the front three. So obviously, plenty of options. You could even put Teo Eden in, but I'm not, because I'm not going to insult the rest of the midfielders. We've got Travis, Buckley, Morton, Wharton, and Garrett.
That's an old pitch for Wharton, that is old.
That is the only one that was big enough size that had fit without being very blurred, and I searched a lot for that. Now, we mentioned all these players. Obviously, Travis has been right wing back. Obviously, midfield, Buckley's not played much, has he, in recent weeks? We'll start with you, Matt. Now, I think Travis is the obvious option. I think we're all in agreement. He gets in every side. I think the debate has to be the other midfield spot. Now, who takes that midfield spot for you?
For me, right now, with how Buckley's been, if we're talking about the best they're playing right now, I think Buckley this season's been massively disappointing. I think we can all agree on that as well. I think that we haven't seen the best of John Buckley this year as of yet. But can you argue that any of the rest of that midfield is better than Buckley on his day? We can't say about Tyler Morton because he's playing most of his football, the under-23s at Liverpool. Same with Adam Wharton. You can't say that we've seen the best of him yet because he's only just breaking through. So if we're going off who's the best on the day, and from what we know, it has to be John Buckley. But if it's from this season, for me, Tyler Morton.
Scott, who's your pick alongside Travis? Everyone in the comments is saying Travis, but who goes alongside him for you?
I mean, Matt summed it up there. If we're taking form out of the equation, then it's got to be Buckley. He's got that experience over the rest of them. It's invaluable for him. But if we're talking current form, as much as Tyler Morton has impressed me, I would be going for Adam Morton.
Adam Morton.
I think the other week, not with Bristol, I think Tyler Morton looked like he was just getting a bit bullied out there. But there again, none of them really played well against Bristol, did they?
No, and that's it. It's they're only really the bench players who come away with any credit. Dom, who do you have alongside Travis in this team? Because this is probably the first spot where we've properly had to debate for it. We'll look through the comments as well and kind of use the comments to guide us, because I can see there's a bit of a pattern playing now.
So you're saying there's a John Buckley and a Tyler Morton stood on stage, and I'm there. I've got to choose the one. Is that what you're
It's through
saying?
to Judge's house.
Oh no,
is
it's
what I'm saying.
Adam Morton. Sorry, not.
And there's Adam. Well,
No.
I think all three of them really. You've got a choice between.
Should we bring the lights down and like
Dramatic music as well?
I think right now, the way that the games that I've watched them play this season, I'm going to have to go with Tyler Morton because he just looks so silky, doesn't he, on the ball? I mean, with Travis next to him is the sort of we have to swear.
No.
Okay, S. Housery next to him. He was missing it with Wharton next to him, wasn't he? Like Wharton's a bit. He needs to grow into himself a bit more. He looks so calm and he looks so good on the ball and composed, and he will be our, midfield going forward in the next few seasons. But right now, next to Travis, I think Morton this season is the player to have.
And
I think to pick up there as well. Like, sorry for overspeaking you there, Dan, but
right, go for it.
I think with Morton as well. I think the reason why, and I get why Scott is saying Adam Morton, is because I think he goes under the radar a little bit, Tyler Morton, because he's always that pass before the assist. Like, I'm not trying to compare him to like Iniesta or anything like that, but Iniesta he was never the recognised one because he was the pass before the assist and stuff like that. Morton is that guy who'll play that ball through to Diaz, and Diaz will cut in, then lay it off to someone or something like that. That's how Morton plays, because that's how he plays at Liverpool, and you can see how he's brought in that elite mentality and the balls he plays as well. I think the second to none sometimes what he does. I think that going forward, if we manage to get a permanent deal with him at the end of the year, him and Adam Morton could be a serious midfield with Travis as a free in the midfield if we manage to do that.
I think there were a goal, weren't there, where Morton flicked it over the defender and we went and scored. He flicked it over to left wing. I can't remember who we were playing, but that bit of quality, for a young lad, he's really got it. Do you know what? I didn't expect Morton to get in. I thought Buckley were going to get in, to be honest. I know how the comments have been.
Close. I did put a slash next to it. It was very close. Well,
we're going to go through the comments as well. And, Morton's in there with Travis. The comments, I'll go through them a bit, but, Morton and Travis, Garrett and Travis you mentioned.
Come on, you're the tiebreaker here.
Yeah,
it would. Yeah. Well, no. To be fair, I'm going through the comments as well, and they're all going for Morton. It goes off. If I'm picking the best exciting, it goes off form, doesn't it? And Morton's been the better one for me. Everyone knows I'm a big Buckley fan, and he's been on before.
We all know we're not saying it's a bad thing for Buckley because he's obviously. I mean, if he starts any week, we're like, we're not complaining, are we? It's never
no. And it's a good thing to have. And, Broughton mentioned it, didn't he, when we signed him, that it'll let the younger players have a bit of time off this season and, fill the gap. And we know that Morton won't play every single game. Buckley will come in. We've got 3 game weeks all over now with Wigan being rescheduled. West Ham game, if we go through in the Cup, we've got another one. Another game will get rearranged as well for some reason. So there's that much football going on that all these lads are going to get the game time. So...
You've got the World Cup coming up as well.
We're not complaining.
No, we're not complaining. So,
do you think
the toughest part?
Do you think Tyler Morton is the player that we thought Clarkson would have been?
Yeah, 100%. But I think Clarkson had suited this year or the season before better than he suited the season. If we'd have had him in that COVID team, I think he'd have had a really good loan spell.
Yeah, because we had more of the ball, didn't we, during COVID? Yeah. Whereas last season it was like a low block and we just allowed counter-attack, didn't we?
So, the toughest one for me, I think the 2 positions really up for grabs, but maybe one after the start of the season. The front 3. Now, obviously, we know how fluid this front 3 is, or when we play front 4. So, every player's up for all 3 of the positions here. And we'll just pick the 3 to go through. So, Diaz, Gallagher, Dak, Sammy Smodics, Hedges, Dolan, Vale, and Markanday. Now, we'll go through each one. We won't focus on Diaz because I think he's the one that gets in for everyone. Sam Gallagher, I'll start with you, Matt. What do you make of Gallagher? Is there a place for Gallagher in the team? Is there a future because he's got a long-term contract now with the club? He's probably one of our longest contracted players, isn't he? So even though that wasn't JDT who did the contract, it's going to be hard to shift a player on Gallagher's wages unless we kind of pay a bit of them, isn't it?
It's also Sam Gallagher's birthday today, isn't it?
It is Sam Gallagher's birthday.
I think he gets striker alone for that. I don't think we can put a damper on his day, can we really?
Oh, and obviously one that I missed on putting in there was George Hurst as well. You know.
Yep. Well, I think when we're talking about it, I think we all know who gets a left wing spot, like you said. I think straight away Diaz is coming in and taking that left wing spot no matter what. I don't think we have to debate about that. Scott's nodding his head with his little Diaz shirt in the back. He knows the drill. Diaz is fitting in straight away at left wing. I think strike is the talking point, and I think it's hard because everyone will be wanting to say Hurst. Definitely, I think there's a lot of us who will want to say Hurst, but I think we've not seen enough of him. If we're going off form, like we said before, we've not seen enough of him at all to put him anywhere near that striker spot right now. Jack Vale, if we're going off form again, he's just not lived up to it. He had that one good game, and we thought, oh, maybe he's got something going for him this year. Just didn't work out again. And I think that's where really the only person you can put in that spot that really suits that role the best out of the lot of them is Gallagher. And for that reason, I'd give him that. And to be fair, he's not played half that bad this year, but he's another one like Pickering, in my opinion. Sometimes he'll have an 8 out of 10 game, but some people say it's a 4 out of 10. I think he just has a lot of people who don't like him and a lot of people who do like him.
I think he's always that expectation from that loan spell as well. If we'd have just signed him as a striker coming in without that loan spell, it's a bit of a different story, isn't it, with opinions? So what were your front three, Matt? Sorry, just before we move on.
Full front three. So I go Diaz, Gallagher, and then on the right I'd go Dolan.
Scott, I'll come to you. What's your front three and why?
Right, well, my front three is slightly different in formation, actually. It's not one we've played, but I just couldn't make my mind up. No, it's not Butworth. I had it down as like two up front, like sort of like left forward and right forward, with a cam.
All right, okay.
Because I thought in if we're talking about a Rovers 11 full fitness, you can't really leave Dak out, can you? If we're talking full fitness, so
you can, you definitely can, yeah. You can.
I put him in.
I
put him in with Hedges and Diaz. Because you definitely can't leave Hedges out.
You can't get that. You can't get that League One season out your head. That's what it is.
I can't.
I think you look at Dak. For me though, with Dak, it's always he had that good time.
I think he can always be that guy to pull that goal out of nowhere.
I know it sounds bad, right? I know it sounds really bad, but right now I'll put Schmodics in over Dak.
That's very. I think you've got to take into account what Dak could have in a front three, and I don't think he has anything in a front three. If you're playing a front four, you're on a different story, aren't you? But a striker in a front three when you're playing a 5-2-3 needs to be a striker, I think. Needs to be someone who can lead the line. I know we get the fluid stuff, so Diaz can go, but you need 3 players, I think, in front three that can lead that line. And that's going to be the toughest part for Dak, I think. If we're playing a 5-2-3, does he offer enough in any of them 3 positions to get in? Don, what do you think with Dak, and what's your front three?
I think Dak is better suited to a in a sort of attacking mid role, but with an attacker in front of him. Look at the goal. I know he played up front against Blackpool, but it wasn't really, was it? It was like 2 inverted strikers, and the assist that he threaded through the needle. That was that is what he's perfect at. But as a striker, he's had so many games this season where
can I just say one thing? I feel like Scott just wanted to get the best XI in. I don't think he really cared about how the tactic worked. But you guys are proper like wanting to make the tactic work. Scott just wanted to get the best players in there. I'm sorry, I didn't know you wanted the tactic to work as well.
Well, that's the thing. That's the precedent at the start. Like, do we want the best players in the best position, or do we want it as the best team?
Yeah,
I mean, if we're talking off the formation that we've gone with,
mm-hmm.
I still don't think that I would put Gallagher up front, because whenever he's been up there,
he's never won those headers that you want him to win, and he's just not been. I'm hoping that as we see more of George Hurst and his aerial ability, we're going to see more headers. But I'm just not sure Sam Gallagher gets in there either.
Dom, front three, go for it.
Gallagher. I put Gallagher up top. Sorry, I put obviously the Brutus tears. Gallagher and Hedges. I put on the right because, I mean, you look at this season alone, 3 assists, 1 goal, and he's looked the better. Like when he was injured, did we win a game? I don't think we did we? So when he's in the team, he looks like I can't believe he's 6'1" as well, which is amazing. As a sort of an outlet from the goal kick. We put Gallagher out there because of his height as a sort of a wide target man essentially, and now we've got Hedges who's doing the same, but we're playing a different system. Obviously, it's a good outlet, but I think up top Gallagher is the best in that role. I mean, Hurst is improving in the Championship. We don't know what he's going to do. Obviously, he did well at Portsmouth last season, and he's at Leicester, so he's clearly got talent. But that Gallagher, get him fit and get him ready up top, and get him to where he needs to be. Because when we're under Mowbray, when he was playing out wide, and at times right back, when I remember I played against Middlesbrough one game and played right, I was like, what is going on? He needs to go up front, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think what you find is, I think this comment sums Dak up perfectly. When you're thinking of your best XI, you've got to think what works with the way we play. What works, what is going to get us the most wins. That's kind of the precedent of it, that who is going to get Rovers as high up that table as we can, who's going to get us in the playoffs if we want to get the playoffs or mid-table, wherever. And that's it. And that's what you've got to go for. I think from the comments and from everyone who spoke, it looks like Diaz and Hedges are going to be in, but it's that third position, it's the other slot that's kind of undecided because everyone's saying something else in the comments and you've all got different opinions through. We go, who do we want in that striker spot? Because, if we run through the options quickly and you just go yes and no on them just quickly, has Markandé played enough to prove he should be in the best XI?
No.
Has Vale done enough to prove it?
No.
Has Dolan done enough?
Not for a striker role, no.
You've got to remember the fluid though. He did this job on. He did this job on
well.
Tuesday, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he's got a good goals and assists, which I didn't realise.
I always thought that Dolan was like an impact player, the one that came on and made a difference. But on Tuesday, he did prove me wrong a little bit. I thought, you know what, he could actually start a game. And this season, I've always said at the start of the season, this season needs to be the season where he proves himself, because he's had a couple of seasons where he's had, he's been the youngster in the team and he's finding his feet, but he needs to show his sort of ruthlessness up front. And this season so far is the one that he's shown.
I think this year you can see how much he's matured with some of the decisions he's made. He hasn't decided to do a silly decision by trying to take on at least 5 men. This year he seemed to know when to pass the ball and lay it off and stuff like that. And it's nice to see that from last season where he'd do some silly stuff with the ball.
And I think you mentioned, with Dolan, I've said it for a few years, it's been our issue all the time that we've only ever had one player score goals. Since Danny Graham and Bradley Dack, it's always been one player. And I said it in the match reaction that if you can have all of your front three getting in goal involvements and getting lots of assists and goals, even if we're bad defensively, we're going to be better at the table. And then if you can get, your midfielders, your centre-back scoring scorpion kicks or whatever they want to score, your chances of going up are much improved. It's always been Rovers' issue, hasn't it?
And with that, in terms of just longevity, because when Armstrong left, he was the only one scoring, so he was the one that everyone was trying to bid for. And then this season, it's Brereton Diaz. But if everyone sort of collectively gets it, then nobody's in the limelight. So then everybody's sort of pushing forward at the same time, and nobody's getting bidded from everybody.
I think what we need to do is we need to do this show again after February.
100%. No, I agree. It'll be completely different as well.
That's a good point. That's good. That's a good idea. Like just to see the difference. That's a quality idea.
I can guarantee you in February, Daniel Ayala is not in the team as well because he'll be
when
off.
When Danny Butterworth comes back on loan, you know.
That's it. You never know, do you? Who were we going for up front? Matt, if you had to pick one player, never mind up front, we'll just say a front three. You've picked one player to fill your front three of Diaz, Hedges. Who's your last pick?
It's not even Hedges. Get Dolan in. I'm joking. No, Gallagher.
Scott?
I think going off what we've said, and seeing as we're not playing an attacking midfielder, then I would put Dolan in over Galley. I don't think he's done enough.
And Dom?
As a number 9, it'd be Gallagher. Definitely.
Just anyone in the front three. So you've got.
Sorry.
We're talking the fluid bits. You've got Diaz, Hedges, who just fills that third spot for you, even if they're not going to play up front. Yeah.
If it's a fluid system, it'd be Dolan.
Yeah. I think, Matt, you've been outvoted on Mr. Gallagher. I
thought we were on about number 9. I thought we were on about number 9.
No, we were on about a front three, a fluid front three. I said it at the start as well. As soon as the front three. You all right?
Yeah,
I would have gone Makonde. I'm sorry. No, it's all right.
Makonde, yeah.
So it looks like all this filling up. I think Scott's idea is great though, about going back in February when we're sat wherever in the table, whoever's coming in January, if we do anything in January, you know. But this seems to be like this 11 we've decided on. Let us know in the comments, is this your 11? Is there anyone you change? Dom, if you look at 11, if you could switch one player out and bring one player in, who swaps?
If I had to take one out,
take one out and put one in. Yeah,
I would take out Hyam and put Carter in.
And Matt?
I don't know if I'm going to go as big as that. I think I'll go safe and go. If it came to it, I'd take Morton out and put Adam Morton in instead.
Go on, Scott. Who are you having?
Matt's just nailed it on the head there. But I'm just going to be different. If we're working off that, if we're working off no form as well, then I'd put Buckley in for his experience, providing he steps up.
I think my swap's Morton for Buckley as well, but that is the 11 I'd go for now at least. You never know, like Scott said, perfect point, that if we go a month down the line, we could have a different side. So that's it. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Really enjoyed it. Dom's going to be hosting from next week. Dom, what questions do you want to go for next week? Or do you want to ask the comments for a question?
I think what we'll do is we'll do the worst away kit of the last 10 years.
Away kit or just kit in general?
Well, we'll go away kit because there's more of it.
So away, so we'll cover that.
Is that all right? Is that
That's
all right?
fine. Anything.
Yeah.
If anyone in the comments wants to get a suggestion in for, any show you want to see, we've got what we got on the list on best XI in the last 20 years, worst. We've got like best XI in the last 10 years, etc.
Do you know what you should do? Did you see what someone put on Twitter of the nachos and cheese that they got at half time at Blackburn? And it was like the worst thing ever. Should do like the worst halftime thing you can get from Ewood Park, because honestly, if you search it, these nachos had literally about 2 grains of cheese on. That's it. 2 like little bits of cheese. That's it. Even Yasser. I saw them.
Yeah, they were advertised as melted, weren't it?
Yeah.
Things we can steal.
Oh, we can steal anything. Don't you worry. Like I say, anyone who wants to put a topic in, put it in. We've got I think me and Don went through a few. We got best XI since we come down in 2012. Worst XI. I think them two will be really good to go through. There's some shockers.
To be fair, you just put me on the spot. We could easily do that as well.
We'll decide and put it on Twitter. But everyone put in the comments, honestly, if you want to see show, even if it's,
I think,
Matt said, the best food, anything, we'll go through stuff. We'll go through different ones, tier lists. We can do exercise like this. We can do anything. But thank you to everyone for tuning in. Matt, thanks for joining the first show.
No, thank you for having me as usual. I'm excited to do these. It'll be good. It'll be good getting good interaction in. I'm liking it.
Yeah, it's been good. It's really good having the comments back. When we started doing this, I was speaking to Dom, and we had everything in lockdown, didn't we? And it was like constant lockdown. We were live because no one could go to the game. But now everything's different. It's nice to get everyone in. Like 7788 says, best to worst Rovers managers. We'll do that. We'll 100% get it in.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot more in the worst bit than the best bit, though, won't there?
Yeah.
After these last 20 years,
That's why I
30
said
years.
where's the away kits, because it's a lot better to talk about. Like, it's more interactive to talk about.
Yeah, we'll go through everything. We'll
been through a lot of shit, haven't we? Like,
that's it. And we'll cover everything every Thursday, unless, say, England are playing in the World Cup, we'll change it all. Even like this, I think this is a good one. We did this one on Twitter about a year ago, and this is one we'll prep beforehand as well, and then we can get it as we do the show. But that's a really, really good one to pick. It's tough. I think you get your obvious European nationalities in, and obviously your American guy as well. But then you get to your English, and it is a really good question. I think that'll definitely be on the list. But any of you want, Rovers Chat _ on Twitter, tweet us there, drop us a DM, YouTube comments, any video really, just put it in the comments. We'll pick it all out. Scott, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It's always a laugh.
Well, especially when Butter was brought up and down. Thanks for joining us again.
yeah, it's always good. I'll happily do the hosting next time. I just bottled it this time because I came late and I shot the bed. So it's good to go. It's always good to go.
No, that's fine. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone for joining. It's been a good 50 minutes or so. Got through without any technical mishaps as well, which is always a positive. We always know how live stuff can go. And if you could see how many times I cut stuff out of the pre-recordings, you know how often it can mess up. Thanks everyone for joining.
Sorry, by the way,
Dom?
did you see the preview of our last video?
Oh, why? What have we done?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, get in. I'm glad I've left it in. I did it with Matt before. I'll cut that out this one. Thanks to everyone for joining us. It's been a pleasure again. Leave a comment. Let us know what you want us to cover. And let us know your best XI if you don't agree with ours. Thanks to everyone for joining. Back again soon for a new video. I'm sure we will be. But until then, subscribe, like, comment, share, do all of that stuff. I don't have to tell you. Thanks for watching.